Hi everyone. It's a pleasure to share with you my PowerPoint presentation. It's going to be on situational leadership and organizational effectiveness. And today is the 8th of August 2018. Yes, my name is Yonel Joseph. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran, a disabled veteran, and I'm originally from a Caribbean island. I'm currently living in Florida. I'm married with three children. They're all girls, respectively from 12, 6, and 3 years old. And my major is professional development. And the project contents is going to be as follows. First is the introduction, situational leadership overview, contextual factors, study findings, practicability of situational leadership theory, and I will have some personal insight. Some my personal suggestions, and I will end the presentation with my conclusion. Introduction. Leaders cannot depend on one management style to deal with all situations. They must be flexible to adjust their style and learn the level of competency of each employee in the organization. And they do that so they can build a solid team towards success and development. Many leadership models already exist. However, Hersey Blanchard emphasized the need for leaders to switch to different styles that can contribute to follower success and organizational development. Situational leaders' role. Leaders influence followers toward goals. They achieve success. They apply flexibility. Leaders identify development levels of followers so they can match appropriate leadership styles to every situation. Leaders do more than influencing their people. They have vision, they clarify, they inspire, and they make an organization become successful. Leaders understand the development level staff and they apply the best leadership style. And every time I talk about situational leaders, this coach name always comes to my mind. His name is Abe Jacquet. He's a retired French football coach and former player. Jacquet was the manager of the French national football team that won the 1998 FIFA World Cup. He finished his coaching career from doubt to victory. 2 decades ago, he was labeled as incompetent, amateurish, and inexperienced by the media because he was very unpopular all over the country. However, in the 1998 World Cup, he adopted a defensive tactic that the world considered as the strongest defensive tactic in history of soccer. And he and his teams managed to defeat the world's biggest Brazilian national team by 3-0 and won for the first time a World Cup title.
Jumping forward. Zidane! Powerful header by Zinedine Zidane. France lead, 27 minutes gone. Leonardo couldn't get to him, Taparel stayed on his line. And the president celebrates. Zidane again! And again, Brazil looking poor defensively on the set piece. Petit away from it, Zidane into it. 2-0 France. Lots of possibilities here. Vieira, but he continues his run, which started from the back, and he scores and gives France the perfect finish. It's a total celebration in the Stade de France. The hosts have won the World Cup in style.
Contextual factors. China's business with slowing economic growth is in need of a new and innovative brand of business leadership. Research shows that there are few leadership studies in the Chinese context, but situational leadership model is the right approach to employee readiness as well as China's organizational development. The Organization Citizen Board, OCB, is one of the important employees' outcomes in China's transitional economy. China's business leadership is partially supported with employees with only low and moderate readiness. In China, situational leadership is irrelevant for high readiness employees, as some of them are intrinsically motivated instead of being motivated by leadership style. In China, employees trust leaders and engage in extra role OCB when they perceive that leaders behave proactively and alter their behavior to help employees reach their full potential. There are two hypotheses. A situational leadership style and employee readiness match will have a positive effect on employee OCB. And a partial match between situational leadership style and employee readiness will not be significantly related to employee OCB. There are two patterns of behavior in situational leadership: directive and supportive. Directive, leaders guide, define roles, and show followers how to get things done. Supportive, leaders listen, they provide support, and encourage followers to get things done. Findings. An empirical and qualitative study conducted and tested among 150 leaders and 300 employees revealed that the effect of situational leadership and employee readiness match on organizational citizenship behavior in China. Situational leadership theory practicability. Today's workforce is not what it used to be because there are major changes in the way leaders and managers think. Employees got smarter now, they are more intelligent, and they have higher commitment. Statistical research based on a study conducted among 100 male and 100 female students. Studies showed that males have higher situational leadership propensities than their female counterparts. The same goes for students who were born in the US as compared to those who were born overseas, according to Kai-Fi et al. 2014. The same study revealed that leaders place less or more emphasis on the task and more or less emphasis on the relationship with the people they are leading. A 2003 IOM report highlighted the key role that leadership plays in maintaining a strong public health system through the development of a competent public health workforce. The accreditation process created anger and frustration in many public health leaders. So leaders went the extra mile to address their style in a way that their followers can be ready to go through the accreditation process as smoothly as possible. Given the novelty and complexity of the accreditation process, a highly functioning team is required, and situational leadership provides a framework for public health agency leaders to successfully guide their teams through the process. What leaders say they do is one thing, and what followers say they want, and how well their leaders meet their expectations is another. Many scholars neglect the roles of gender in their leadership approach. Kaifa et al. 2014 stated that any leader whose managerial approach does not address the factors of masculinity and feminine traits cannot be considered as an effective leader. Gender roles have issues as well on organization. In the United States, the expansion of gender roles and the rapid integration of women in the workforce require organizations to get rid of their traditional social structure to adopt new leadership methods that stand out in today's business. Situational leadership theory is a demographic issue. The same study revealed that men have socially superior advantages in their leadership role, while women are trying hard to accomplish leadership. He also showed that males have higher situational leadership propensities than their female counterparts. And the same goes for students who were born outside the US compared to those who were born in the US. Subordinates seem to consider the gender gap as a challenge to leaders' managerial style. Many scholars believe that in a company in which there are more female subordinates, male managers are less likely to engage in authorizing task-oriented leadership styles. Males occupy most of the leadership positions. Masculine dominance in the workplace and socio-feminine inferiority perceptions have created an invisible barrier for women to advance at senior levels in organization. And Kaifa et al. 2014 stated that women have been treated as an inferior class, although more women today integrate masculine management. Silverton 2000 conducted a study in Taiwan between two sample groups with sample size greater than 50 participants. Selected when either of them described the bosses as adaptive or traditional leader. The results showed that there was not age-based statistically significant between older students versus younger leaders. How to utilize gender strength in improving weaknesses in situational leadership. According to Ertak and Gordo 2012, studies showed that women tend to be less risk-taking in making decisions regardless of their leadership positions, which is another way of saying that women who like to lead act no different than from women who would not. Some results based on gender between male and female. For male, have an average mean of 4.3117 with a standard deviation of 0.825, while female, the average mean 2.630 with a standard deviation of 1.079. And based on place of birth, students who were born in the US have a mean average of 2.442 with a standard deviation of 0.896, while those who were born outside the US a mean average of 3.900 with a standard deviation of 1.001. Hersey Blanchard model. Effective leaders change and adapt to new styles that suit their people. No one style of leadership pertains to all given workplace situations. Leadership style changes according to followers' knowledge and skills in a given task. Leaders place less or more emphasis on the task and more or less emphasis on the relationship with their people. Task versus relationships behaviors. Situational leadership focuses on tasks as well as relationship behaviors. Effective leaders balance the two. According to Harrison et al. 2013, 4 styles are created. First one, directing, characterized by high task and low relationship behaviors. Second one, coaching, characterized by high task and high relationship behaviors. Third one is participating, characterized by high relationship and low task behaviors. And fourth one is delegating, characterized by low relationship and low task behaviors. And findings, this graph shows how the style works in each situation in terms of personal experience of the students. It shows that the first years range from 17 to 26, second years 21 to 27, and the third years from 23 to 29. It's like the first year from 20, the second year goes up to 23, and the third year is 25. The question is, why situational leadership theory different from all the other styles? The answer is situational leadership theory is adaptable to any situation. Effective leaders do not rely on method, approach, or style. And Hersey Blanchard identified 4 styles. First one is telling, where leaders guide and direct their followers in accomplishing a task. Second one is selling, where leaders convince their followers in adapting method of dealing with problems. Third one is participating, where leaders show followers how to solve a problem and give them free space to make their own decisions. And delegating, leaders avoid micromanaging followers because they believe in their ability to do the work. Leaders are drivers of change, because when they make decisions, they choose between failure and success. Like General D. Eisenhower on June 5th, 1944. It was the day before D-Day, before the invasion. He made one of the most famous speeches in history of America. He said, "If any blame or fault attaches to the attempt, it is mine alone."
Sailors and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. He will fight savagely. But this is the year 1944. Much has happened since the Nazi triumphs of 1940-41. the United Nations have inflicted upon the Germans great defeat in open battle, man to man. Our air offensive has seriously reduced their strength in the air and their capacity to wage war on the ground. Our home fronts have given us an overwhelming superiority in weapons and munitions of war, and placed at our disposal great reserves of trained fighting men. The tide has turned. The free men of the world are marching together to victory. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory. Good luck, and let us all beseech the blessing of Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking.
It's a pragmatic approach, because leadership is a philosophy of doing what works best, where leaders deal with the real application of ideas rather than with abstract notion. Former President Obama was known for his charisma and transformational style. On May 2nd, 2011, the president changed his style and adopted a situational approach that resulted in the death of Osama bin Laden. Situational leadership theory is the most practical leadership model that businessmen use today, because the concept is giving people what they need while creating production and development for the future.
I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden.
It began last August. New leads came to light about the possible whereabouts of Osama bin Laden.
It was far from certain, and it took many months to run this thread to ground. I met repeatedly with my national security team as we developed more information about the possibility that we had located bin Laden hiding within a compound deep inside Pakistan.
The key lead, tracking down one of the few couriers trusted by bin Laden. That courier's movements led U.S. intelligence to this compound in Abbottabad, a mansion on 3 floors, high security walls, a place built to hide someone important. Planning intensified within the past few weeks, with the president chairing 5 National Security Council meetings. The final one, Thursday last week. The following day at 8:20 a.m., as the president prepared to leave the White House for Alabama, President Obama gave the go-ahead for a mission that had been rehearsed for months. On Sunday, national security staff worked all day on the operation. A senior administration official says at 2 p.m., the president met with his senior staff to review final preparations. At about 4 p.m. Eastern Sunday, just after midnight in Pakistan, a team of Navy SEALs in helicopters raided the compound. Administration officials called it an especially dangerous operation. Local residents spoke of intense gunfire.
A small team of Americans carried out the operation with extraordinary courage and capability.
Bin Laden resisted and was killed in the firefight, according to one source, shot in the head. The whole operation was carried out in less than 40 minutes. Along with bin Laden, 3 other men were killed. U.S. officials believe one was bin Laden's adult son. A woman was killed when used by one of the men as a human shield. There were no U.S. casualties, but a U.S. helicopter was destroyed by its own crew after a mechanical failure. At 7 p.m., the president learned there was a high probability the high-value target was Osama bin Laden. Drew Griffin, CNN, Atlanta.
Situational leadership is based on readiness, current skills, and developmental level of employees. 4 styles are created: directing, characterized by high tasks and low relationship behaviors; coaching, characterized by high tasks and high relationship behaviors; participating, characterized by high relationship and low task behaviors; delegating, characterized by low relationship and low task behaviors. Situational leaders adapt their style accordingly so followers can perform to the best of their ability. This is explained by four different levels. Level 1 occurs when the follower is unable and unwilling to perform the task and lacks confidence, motivation, and commitment. Level 2 occurs when the follower is unable and willing to perform tasks and requires some guidance. Level 3 occurs when the follower is able but unwilling to complete the task, possibly because of insecurity. Level 4 occurs when the follower is willing and able to accomplish the task with confidence. Situational leadership theory has some challenges. Leaders can't in any way meet every single worker's expectations while trying to achieve the organizational goals. A leader may get confused and react in a way that is inconsistent with the style he wants to adopt. A leader who is constantly changing his demeanor on a daily basis will create an unstable work environment for his or her staff. Good leaders should have the capacity to change their style according to different situations and different staff members. A leader could be viewed as coercive and manipulative. Situational leaders understand the reality of how to lead in today's global workforce. They have the skills and the natural instinct to assess a situation and manage it with the appropriate leadership style. The situational approach is composed of both a directive and supportive dimension that needs to be applied appropriately in each given situation. The leader must evaluate his staff in terms of their competence and commitment to perform the job. Yes, I'm leaning toward the end of the presentation, but before I finish, I need to give my personal insights on the situational leadership theory, which I believe, in general, I believe that the core skills of leadership is influence. In other words, leadership is how well someone can influence a group of people. Because I know that it's not everyone, not everyone can be a leader. Someone can be in a leadership position, but that doesn't mean that the person is a leader. Because in change management is the new requirement for leadership success. To me, great leaders possess intrinsic qualities that make them naturally great, worthy, or exceptional. Leaders, effective leaders are the ones who have an extra human sense that enables them to make tough decisions in complex situations. Prospective leaders always need to encourage equality and diversity in their policies in order to make organizations become more inclusive. And to finish, conclusion, I would say that leading others varies with each leader because it's subjective. Each leader must choose his own method of success. And anytime a leader fails, his or her abilities will be in question. However, I believe that situational leaders go beyond motivating setting and achieving goals with their staff. Effective leaders, situational leaders lead with a style that they believe can bring the kind of changes that organizations require in today's competitive world. And here's my reference page. So that's the end. But before I go, I need to thank all of you for watching this video, and I am open to whatever critics you may have. Feel free to post them. You can post your comments, and I would appreciate whatever you say. And I wish every student the best of luck, and I see you guys around. Thank you very much.